Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode, let me tell y'all first of all, this episode is about how Asians navigated through post-Civil War times. You know what I'm saying? Post-Civil War Reconstruction days and held it down business-wise, dealing with black consumers and white consumers simultaneously. I had this already ready and locked and low. We saw Sinners last Tuesday. Show was Wednesday. I'm like, yo, I know what I'm gonna talk about. This is what I'm gonna talk about. How Asians made their move and was out here getting that money from both sides. Go live Wednesday night. You know, we live on Wednesday nights for the Mix Show. Live at the Oasis on Legal Crime Radio. Yeah, selfish plug. Then when it was time to do the segments, the mic was messing up. And I'm like, So we waited till Saturday. That's why this is late. I was like, I am not going to even substitute this. I'm not, because Sinners is on my mind this whole time. And I'm like, yo, this is a crazy, crazy flick. And I was like, and I already understood what I was going to do with this podcast episode. We were going to do a slight movie review and the takeaways and get y'all the history moment right after that. Boom, boom. It was going to be the 1-2 combo, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That's the way it was supposed to go down. Like I said, the mic messed up for the second half of the show, and so we just had to let the music play. And by the time it was like time to get up out of there, say my pieces and my outros and all that, and my farewells, that's when the mic got back right, and it won't go be like, yo, son, whoever coming up next, fall back, I got something to say. It ain't like that, man. I'm a realist, and it don't go down like that. We can't be greedy out here, man. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna hold this in the cut for Saturday. And then the next Wednesday, Thursday, possibly no later than Friday, we'll post it and get it popping. You know, record it and rock it. Do it like that. And that's what happened. You know what I mean? We had to do it that way, and we did it this way, and we keeping it pushing. Yeah, man. This is what this is, man. This is how it gets down. Word. Now, before we even touch on anything about Sinners, let's talk about some other stuff that is similar. And when I say similar, I'm just saying it's race orientated. You know what I mean? This chick, I'm not even going to call her name out. The shorty who called the kid the N-word. Close to $1 million. Close. She might be even at it at this point. This is Thursday. So she might be there. It was just one of those things, man. I'm just like, yo, how does one by May 15th, weeks, it took like a couple of weeks, do you come away with close to $1 million for calling a child the N-word? Even crazier than that, the site that you went on to do this, they're being, I guess they're doing a little tour, which is crazy because I saw it on the Nation channel, which is basically Fox Jr., right? But I guess they were trying to be like, let's act like we're trying to figure out what's up with the site, because I figured it was all staged. It was because you allowed this grown man to vilify a child. My man vilified the child as a businessman who understands what was going on. You go, yo, I'm looking at it from a money standpoint. We're a site that is a GoFundMe alternative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody has even heard of us until this woman. We're cool with that. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you get past all the negative feelings you have about what the situation was and deal with us. Cool. But while everybody was hating, she gave us some publicity. You know what I mean? We out there. Y'all know who we are. You know what I mean? And not only that, the money that she makes, look at the money we get on the side. We get a percentage of that. So whatever she's saying y'all are saying she made, we get some of that. This ain't, you know what I mean? There's some money that has to be pushed out. So I'm not going to turn down no money. Guess what? Nobody's going to hate on you for that. They'll hate, but it's not going to be, it's like business is business. You know what I'm saying? Business is business. And as black people, we know that because we've been out here trying to tell black people don't go to Target for the longest time. And people are like, no, Target got the stuff that I need the most. I love Target. Don't go to Starbucks. There's other coffee shops, but nobody do it like Starbucks, man. So we understand there are people who are going to go and stick with what they stick with, and it's because business is business. You know what I mean? People are going to still deal with that company, and that's how you should have handled it. My man, instead, he goes, yo, that kid was 10 from what I heard. Some people say he was 10. He was stealing from her bag. And I'm like, dude, are you saying that it is appropriate for anybody to call a child out of their name? To racially throw racial slurs at a child? You know what I'm saying? Like 10. I think somebody said he was at least 10. 10 is still a child. What are we talking about? Like, still a child, just being a child. Now here's the thing. I know I talked about it a few weeks ago. I was told it was a 2-year-old. Then we find out it's a 5-year-old who has autism. My point being, even then and still now, a child. A grown woman said this to a child. The hate is so strong that I don't know if it's for real or not, because everything's so fake now. But an Indian guy said he was the person who you hear on the video, who was taking the video and everything, and people are now running up on him. They have his address. He has a wife and kids and da-da-da-da-da. The hurtful stuff that's being said to him. Trust me when I tell you, it could be real. Because I'm going to tell you what is really real. When you go to that website, I'm not going to shout that site out. When you go to that site and you check out the donations for her and you read the comments, please remember, these are grown men and women. These aren't teenagers. These are grown men and women. And when I see adults go at children, teenagers and children, I'm a black man. My first thought is Emmett Till. My first thought is it's real easy to bully up on a child. You know what I mean? It's real easy to go hard like that. And I look, I'm not trying to be weird about it, but you could tell there probably was no black people in that space. Because there's no way she should have been able to get away with saying it multiple times without somebody putting foot to butt. Somebody putting fist to face. Some violence needed to jump off. The video should have been going where somebody was like, yo, who are you? It should have been, she went from being gangster Karen to Karen and going, N-word. Yeah, I said, oh my God, no, please stop. Somebody call the police. That's how it should have been. It should have went sideways real quick. You know what I'm saying? Then you get the plot twist. Shorty's married to a black man. That don't mean nothing. What I'm saying is, the game is the game. The fact that we've put more money, we have been putting more money into her pocket, her cause, because of the publicity of the news. My man at that site was even like, man, GoFundMe got a thing for the kid, and he's got this much money. So we're cool with. So are we promoting theft? No. Guess what? If she wouldn't have said the N-word, she wouldn't even have any money. You know what I'm saying? If she wouldn't have said the N-word, it wouldn't be a story. Hey, whose kid is this? This kid is in my stuff. Hey, kid, you need to move. All's well, ends well. We know this to be a fact. There's no money being transferred, donated to anybody, right? It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Somebody will come through and go, oh, no, I know who this kid is. This boom, okay. And who knows? Maybe, just maybe, adults could have talked it out and it would have been okay, I get it. Okay, cool, okay. And went on about their business. But because she said what she said and then was okay and adamant and loud about repeating it, standing on it like it was like that, and then you have all these people who have whatever feelings they have inside of them about everything, going, yeah, son, we should be able, like, they're animals, they're this, they're that, like, come on, for real? This is where we at right now? That's the wildness of it. It's always there in America. It's a thing, man. We can't get past it. We will never get past it. No matter how much. Look, Martin Luther King said what? I've seen the mountaintop. I was on the mountaintop. I looked over the mountain. He was doing something on the mountaintop or something, a hill or something. He was somewhere looking down. And yeah, I might not make it there with you, but you know what I'm saying? We gonna get there. Like, yeah, we've been there multiple times and decided to turn back around. We went right back to where we started. Like, nah, reboot. That's it. Ain't nobody, there's no going on the other side. Reboot. We find new decorative ways, new innovative ways to say the same old things, to be the same old people. It happens. It's America. You know what I'm saying? You looking at this thing there with these South Africans. It's all the same stuff. Them South Africans ain't nothing but the Italians and the Irish and all of them in the 20s, in the 1920s, that were coming over here, the 19 teens, when they needed people to do the labor that they were not going to allow black people to do. You know what I'm saying? They were like, no, we ain't letting them do nothing. No. That's why you got a whole group of people who say stuff like my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather came here and they built this country. They built this country because they were not going to allow the other group who were already here to do so. You know what I mean? That was the get down. And that's where we are right now. They're moving a whole bunch of one group of people out the way, and they're going, oh, but we'll bring these other group of people up in here. That's what our country does. Our country is built on it. It's the saddest truth in the world. Our country is built on racism. And what better way to show you how racist we are than to deal with another country that does the same thing? South Africa's whole history is literally the United States history. Just different. Just different. You know what I'm saying? Apartheid is segregation, is Jim Crow. Just different. Different names, same vibes. You had Mandela and them trying to get stuff straight. You had all the black civil rights activists over here trying to figure out how to get equality. Same difference. They had a black president. At some point, we got around to having a black president. Same difference. That's all it is. America can look at South Africa and go, little brother, I see you need help. I got you. That's really what that is. That's what that is. South Africa is built off of the same BS that America's built off of. Hands down. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about what happened in South Africa, they were told, oh, you guys ain't even using all of this land. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take some of that land and give it to people who will use it. Oh my God, screaming foul. Because they own most of the land. The farmers own a good portion of the land, of the farmland, a good portion, and aren't using all of it. It's not like they were just taking it away, going, give me your land. It was outright, yo, y'all ain't using this. We got it. Here, get it to somebody who's going to put some work to it. My man's spinning it like they're just taking land from people. That. Because if you do the same thing in America, there's a whole point where we can't let you progress. You know what I mean? I saw something with Shaquille O'Neal and Kerry Washington talking, and he was like, yo, he's from this part of New Jersey and he would love to go and buy that school and put some upgrades on that joint and make it pop. They ain't gonna sell it to him. They don't. Like, if you really stop, look, the early 2000s, when Cash Money was popping, they had the tour with Rough Riders. Remember that? They wanted to buy their projects. The people in New Orleans told you, we can't let you buy that. Those are government buildings. That's government property. We can't just let you buy that. Projects. By 2003, 2004, gentrification comes into play. Projects, the hood, government-owned buildings, you know what I'm saying, your apartment complex, were bought up. Names were flipped. Properties were turned. Rent escalated and got expensive. All of a sudden, they were going, we don't do Section 8. A lot of companies weren't even based in the states and cities that they were in. I'm in Kansas City at this time, right? I live in this nice apartment. Across the street is literally like the projects. It's just people from Boston, some company from Boston bought literally 4 to 5 of the buildings across the street from me. expensive. Stuff got expensive. People weren't living really there, but what they were hoping were UMKC kids who wanted to be off campus would live there. They were hoping because they understood that downtown was about to be popping. They understood that the Power Light District was gonna be cracking, and everybody couldn't live out in the plaza. So they was trying to like move people further along. Everybody can't live out there in Westport. They were trying to bring it up. They were trying to move people further along, get them close. Because all of a sudden now, if you live over here, you know what I'm saying? It's driving. It's 5 minutes to Westport, 10 to the plaza. It's a 10-minute drive to the Power Light District. You know what I'm saying? It's about a 10-minute drive if you want to go to the Crossroads area. Now you're right here in the middle. Like you're in the middle. This little section is literally in the middle of all of that. And they were like, yo, we're going to get people to buy these. I remember right across the street from a park, ghetto, hood, condominiums there. They gutted out a wall or two, made it spacious. You know what I mean? The outside still look like the outside. You got brothers who were coming home ready to get their crack game up. Yeah, so I'm about to say, no, you ain't better not go over there, boy. Them white people gonna call the police. Police gonna shoot you. Better leave that alone. What? Nah, they nah, man. I grew up around. Look over there. Look over there, and all them people look like Samantha from Bewitched and Darren. All of them. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, there's a whole nother group of just, you know what I'm saying? You get that chimey 1960 music. When they come back from the commercial break, yeah, that. Yeah, them people ain't look nothing like whatever they looked like before he left. When he got back, it was a whole group of different people. Why? Because it wasn't beneficial to the people who actually lived there. There are people who buy schools and turn them into nice, expensive places of living. When somebody who goes, hey, I want to buy the school and then turn it into like a place for homeless people. Nah, we can't let you do that. Hey, I want to buy this joint and turn it into like an apartment building, and then we like do this, like have like a whole, like turn a basketball joint into like a club at night. You know, okay, yeah, cool. We don't progress. We don't want to see people progress. Like we'll set up shop, like things for homeless people to get showers. They'll let you do that. You go, hey, there's some buildings. We're going to pool our money together and buy these buildings and turn this into a shelter. No, we're not going to let you do that. That's where we are. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about race, we talk about inequality. When we talk about inequality, we talk about poverty. Somehow, for whatever reason, we like to all redirect that and make that talk about black people. For some reason, we make that about black people. When everybody's going through the same thing, but the faces that you see are always people who look like me. And that becomes the racial, you know what I'm saying, element of all of that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the game is crazy. We can't get past that. So when you have somebody like this chick saying what she's saying, these people go out here because they feel like she's a damsel in distress, and they feel like, oh my God, you should be able to just call it what it is. It ain't about being PC. It's about being respectful to a child. Understanding that that's a child. It don't take nothing. It don't take the same energy it takes you to call that child out of his name. You could have been like, yo, whose kid is this going through my stuff? Hey kid, move. Nah, somebody come get this kid. Bam. Again, you do that, it ain't even a story. Life. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we're going to talk about this sentence thing. Let me tell y'all first and foremost, because I hadn't seen it. I didn't see it when it first came out. I waited a minute, you know what I'm saying, trying to wait for the excitement to die down to get a good seat and all that. But Jason Whitlock had me lost. Jason Whitlock was like, yo, this is the most racist joint I ever seen. This joint is super racist. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yo, okay, hold on. Let me, when I get there, I'm gonna have to really focus on this, because I ain't never heard that. So I'm like, yo, let me go and peep the movie. Saw the movie. Then I went back to Jason Whitlock's comments. And if you've seen the movie, because we're gonna talk about the movie, spoilers, peep this right here.
I found this movie, Sinners, to be the most nakedly racist movie that I've ever seen. That's my takeaway, and it's akin to Birth of a Nation. And we've listened to black people and black historians talk about the evilness of Birth of a Nation and what it did, and blah blah blah. And I don't disagree with them. It was programming and propaganda. I just don't understand how we can't see this movie Sinners and other movies that are not quite as nakedly racist, but they all flirt with this. Why? And I don't know the example in the last 30, 40 years, 50 years. Where's the example of the anti-black movie that is this nakedly racist towards black people? I can't think of the example. It's only promoted and only approved if it's headed one direction.
Now, he said what he said. And reading the comments, you can tell a lot of people probably never even seen the movie, but they had their comments to say. Here's the problem about that. It's easy to just taunt people. You put it out there like that, and people just went with it and go, that's why I'm not going to watch it. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's post Reconstruction. Post World War I. Post Red Summer. I'm saying all this to put it in perspective. They're down south. Pro Klan. Pro Jim Crow segregation. There is so much in that. Now, it's not about them being racist. It's a product of the time from a black perspective. How is that hard to even fathom? You have to be on your guard. You don't trust. There's just a whole, like, Mary is passing, and they're telling you in a heartbeat, Mary, you need to go, before somebody find out that some white person find out you hit. Look, they were more worried about the 3 white people who rolled up at the spot. It was like, yo, what if they go back and tell some people, man, it's gonna be crazy up in here. So where do you find the racism at? That's the situation. That was the time. That's how it went down back then. History lesson, real quick. 1919, 1920, 1921, 1922, all the way to probably 1925. 25. And I'm projecting at that point. You had areas demolished. Tulsa wasn't the only one. They did it somewhere up in Illinois. They did it up around St. Louis. They did it in other southern places. They did it in some places and then turned those places into lakes. You know what I'm saying? There are black cities underwater. They turned those places into man-made lakes. That starts in the 20s, in the 1920s. They're 10 years or so, anywhere from 5 to 10 years, 7 to 8 to 10 years removed from still that being hot in your chest. Sammy asks his one cousin, hey, so how is it out there in Chicago? And his cousin looks and goes, yo, it's the same way everywhere, just bigger buildings. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It don't change just because you up there around in the big city. The vibe is still the vibe. The hate is still real. He couldn't even fathom that because we were taught go to the big city is different than when you in these small towns. Especially when you're talking about southern people. When you go to the New Yorks and you go to the Cincinnati's, when you go to the Chicago's, when you go to the Detroit's, when you go to the Kansas City's, when you go to all of these St. Louis, all of these were, whether y'all know it or not, these were spots before they started going out west. That's where they went. They went out to those places. They went to the New York. They went to the Phillies. They went to the Chicago's. They went, you know what I mean? That was where you migrated to. You was like, oh, to get away from this, I'm going up there. Just to find out, oh, it's the same old. It's just a different way they do it. They do it differently. It's once you smell it, you like, oh, I know what that scent is. Ooh, okay. I see what y'all did. Y'all put some fixings on it. Okay, I got what y'all did. Y'all put a little dressing on it and all that. I got y'all. Y'all baked that. But I know what the smell is. That smell like racism. I got you. That. So when he says it's racist against white people, where? The end? The end, like one of the ending scenes with the Klan? Where? The fact that they didn't trust the white dude? Where? Because I'm gonna tell you what I do know. This was just letting you know we create everything. And they still. This was letting you know that it is easy. They want people to fall in line. This man wanted everybody to fall. The vampire had everybody falling in line. Being like him. Doing like him. Moving like him. Whatever your gifts are, whatever it is that you have going on, it now becomes a part of us, undoubtedly, and it helps me. You are no longer in the process anymore. You're now a cog of my machine. You're just another piece to make my situation better. There's a scene there in the car. You see the dudes on the chain gang, and he tells a story. And I'm sitting here, and that scene was so real to me. Even before the rest of the joint plays out, that scene had let me already know this is what this is about to be. This is about to be something different. My man says, and I don't know all the characters' names, so I'm just saying, if you know the movie, you know the movie. My man says, we got locked up, we played, we had the whole jailhouse rocking. This dude took us on tour. As locked up dudes, took us as inmates on a tour. He was getting paid, we was getting whatever we was getting from it. What you do with your money? I drank my money away. I was wasting my money. But my man's, he saved his money. He was like, yo, he about to do something big. He about to move out. He about to try to progress in life. About to have the life that he thinks he needs. The life that he thinks he deserves. They killed that man. Killed that man and took the money back. If that was some industry insider game joint, right? Like, yo, that's what they do. They'd rather have you. And as a hip hop dude, we used to hear that all the time. Oh, they'll give you the cars. They'll make sure you get all the chicks. They'll give you all the weeds you want. They'll give you all the drinking you want to do. They'll do all this and that and that. Have you out here looking good because you want to wear the jewelry. Cool. You stop and go, yo, I want to save my money and I want to do something productive. I want to do this with my money. I want to do this with I want to be my own man. I want to make moves happen. I want to read contracts. I want to know what's up. You out the mix. They're going to find a way to, if not killing you, you're out the mix. You know what I mean? There was so much in this movie that was dope. There's so much about this movie that is great. Like, you really, like, I know you always hear people go, man, I would love to know what the backstory is. You know what I mean? Everybody had enough about them going on where you wanted to know what was up. You wanted to know what, you know what I'm saying, what happened with my man, with the one brother's relationship with the shorty who did the witchcraft type joint, the voodoo broad. You wanted to know what was up with that. You wanted to know how the child died. You want to be, you know what I'm saying? You want to know what was she doing during those 7 years maintaining. You know what I mean? How was she maintaining? You want to know what Mary had going on. And when she married whoever she married, how that relationship worked. You wanted to know what got your boy, like, yo, man, I've been at that spot for the last 20-something years, and I'm going to be there. It's going to be there when I go. I want to know how that spot jumping. I want to know about what Cornbread got going on. What's Cornbread and his relationship like? Because his wife was like, how much? Hey, you better go on with him. We worry about this cotton later. Get that paper. Get that good paper now. Everybody had a story. One of the big stories that everybody is like going, yo, I would love to know what happened with them natives and your boy, the Irish dude. Again, I'm missing out on names right now. I'm too lazy to be Googling up names. I'm sorry, y'all, but it is what it is, right? But, yo, that right there, like, you want to know what jumped off with them. Like, there need to be, like, somebody needs to do a Marvel style, like, small flick joint, one of them short films, and figure out what that was about. That is a whole, that right there, you can tell that is a whole movie in itself. So when people go, yo, you can make a franchise, They can make a franchise just off of prequels all day. You know what I mean? The movie gives you one day, one 24-hour moment, and so much is going on, and you want to know so much. It starts out slowish, but it builds the world up. You know what I mean? And that was the cool part. The fact that I think people were mad at the Asian lady. I figure, like, if you were mad at that Asian lady, the Chinese lady, you must not have kids yet. Or you got kids and you don't really love your kids. You know what I'm saying? You must not have kids and you must not understand what that is. They told her in her face, we know where you live. We can just go get your daughter. She'll be part of this. I mean, either you can come with us and we, what we gonna do? That's why she said what she said. That's how it went down. That's how it happened. And she had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all out here tripping. Like, people like, man, I can't believe, man. Nah. Y'all must not be, y'all ain't in parent mode, man. She a fool. Nah. They all a hive now. They know everybody's thoughts. They know everything about each other. My man was speaking Chinese to her. I'm like, yo, I know everything your husband knows. I know all that. You don't think that now she's like worried more about her kids? Now she can't see nobody out there. She don't know what's going on. And yeah, she's like, yo, come on, bring it. Come on up in here. That. They were mad at the witch doctor broad was killed. Because they were like, ooh, the stuff that she knew. Added to the collection. They wanted Sammy. And again, goes back to the industry, which is even crazier because right before that comes like one of the greatest scenes in cinema. When my man gets his blues game on, and you hear the narrative over the cut telling you about, like, yo, this music, it taps into other dimensions. It taps into the past. It taps into the future. And somebody said that wasn't really part of the original script. That was something that they brought in later, that whole idea. But to see that, you had the Africans with the drums, you had the dancing, you had the electric guitar, you had the funk, you had the hip hop, you had the trap music, you had all of that jazz meshing together. And then for a hot second, if you paid attention, you caught up some native joints. For a hot second, if you paid it, and then probably even longer than a hot second, we had the geisha chick, which then the Chinese chick, she's doing her thing, and she's swaying to the joint. Crazy. The whole movie was dope. The movie was wow, son. The movie was, and again, when my man turns to Sammy and go, I want that. I need you part of my team, boy. The stuff that we can do, we can take over. We can be all over the place. That, again, taps into black exploitation. Blacks being exploited for their gifts. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, B. It's wild. And the fact that he was an Irishman, and if you know the history of with the Irish have a crazy history. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs. That was the get down. There was a time where, yeah, they equated Irish people to black people. If black people couldn't get there, neither could the Irish. It wasn't until they realized, oh, we need whiteness, and they look white, then they started falling back on the Irish. Irish people were vilified back in the day. I don't even know if y'all understand that. The Irish were vilified back in the day. They used to, half of the stuff that we say as far as our slang words, like the paddy wagon and all this, yeah, all that comes from the way we were treating the Irish people. We just throw all of them in the wagon. Paddy wagon was about them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our messed up slang words would seem racist in a way. Not all of it was aimed at black people. Some of it was aimed at them. That's what America was. America had it. America was wild back then. So it's even crazier that somebody who's Irish becomes the vampire, and he's telling you like, yo, I know what it's like, babe. And they're thinking for a minute. They really out here like, yo. You know what I mean? The movie is crazy. The movie is dope. The movie is ill. There is a greatness to this. And then they're vampire. That's the part that's crazy. When you stop and think about it, they're vampires. Culture vultures. Sucking the life out of you. There's nothing else, you know what I mean? Think this movie's over, and all of a sudden, they got the dopeness going on. Man is out here. It's supposed to be him, like, years later. And he's up in there playing the blues. And you're like, yo, this is dope. And then you see Buddy Guy, which is crazy because I've never seen Buddy Guy's face. I've always heard his music. So I was just like, yo, this is dope. And he's sitting there and they're like, yo, there's some two people that want to like come through and holler at you. Send them in. Then the door gets dramatic. It's like, what? And he sees him. Boom. The next piece is back in the day. He's just out here. This little light of mine, Dolo, rocking, enjoying life, rocking, enjoying life. We don't get that. You know what I mean? People don't. It's a piece. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like when I tell people I made up my own joint. Like when I said the Oasis, when I say I'm in the studio, I call it the Oasis. Me, I'm at peace here. I'm in a different galaxy right now. I'm in a different frequency. I love to just do it. You know what I mean? And you can tell he probably sung that song, all verses, 100 times, and messed around and sung it in different tones, slowed it down, sped it up. You know what I mean? Because if you ever been around real musicians or people who love music, they will just be in their world. You be like, yo, man, you still over here doing this? Yeah, this is what I'm doing. And going about your business. You know what I mean? You don't get to see that. You don't get to hear that. Like the love for blackness was all into this movie. Whether you saw it visually because everybody was looking beautiful, whether you heard it because of the music, the vibe, the way that they did their thing, the camaraderie. You know what I mean? Because even if they was beefing for a hot minute, when that joint jumped off, everybody was on everybody's side. It was like, yo, this is it. We here. You know what I mean? And them boys was them yo. It was what it was. Life, man. Life. It was a dope movie. You know what I mean? But let's get up into this piece where we talk about the historical facts. Because I could go on and on, but then I feel like I'm going in circles. I'm not a real movie reviewer. And I don't want to get super deep and then all that old crazy stuff like that anyway. And y'all be like, ooh, look at him trying to be all scientifical. He's a cinephile dude there. He's a cinephile. Like, nah, I'm good, B. Let's do what we do. Thank y'all for rocking, man. Thank y'all for listening. We're going to get up into this piece. We're trying to do a lot of things, and we're going to be more on time with this weekly get down and get back to being a weekly get down because this missing time stuff is crazy. Thank y'all for rocking. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys. Yeah. Sinners is that movie. Go peep that out. When that joint hit the max, it's going to be always up on my joint, son. It's going to be up and I'm going to be one of them dudes finding new things. Like, ooh. I know I am. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. This is what we do. Let's get into it like this. Yes. Whatever you say, girl. We can keep it popping. I'm gonna just make my way to let you know. I don't play. I do it for the. I do it for the what? I do it for the fat girl. This is for the cut. I ain't got nothing for it. But it's all good though. Yo, y'all know what about that hood flow. I keep it popping, shot the Woodrow. That's that old dude name. Playing them old dude games. He plays Skelly in the back with a bottle in his hand and he's sipping on that yak. Y'all understanding about that? Yeah, I'm playing. Anyway. Legal Crime Radio, you know what we do, man. It's Saturday. We out here having fun. We doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? Word up. Check this out. You know what I'm saying? Word up on these. Okay. Yeah, that's what we gonna do. We gonna keep it right there. And with this right here, I gotta tell y'all something that I was just made aware of. Your boy, we about to have these. Look, the midday mixes. DJ Politic. Gonna have some DJ Politic jumping off on the midday mixes. Please, yo, look, y'all remember how them joints used to get down? Hey, Politic had them rocking for 30 minutes. Look, and I'm up here like, yo, man, I hope them joints be longer. I don't even know, yo. But, yo, salute, my man's joints. We got here rocking them. Midday mix joints. Please check them joints out. You know how we do, man. Alright, look. You already know how I get down. Word up. Anyway, we got, my head's gonna be, I'm gonna be glued. I'm gonna be listening, son. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. So you know what we doing, man. But anyway, this is right here. This is this lane right here. And before I even get into what the joint gonna be, I gotta say it like this. We I forgot what day it was. Tuesday? Was it Tuesday? It might have been Tuesday. Tuesday, we went out. Yeah, it had to be Tuesday because we did the Wednesday show. Because we wouldn't have been able to do the show if I and bounced out on that joint. Bad loop, mess up. Anyway, we live. We saw Sinners. And I don't know if y'all seen Sinners. I don't know who's been out here who watched Sinners. And I know we've all heard about the reviews for Sinners. And Sinners is a great movie, hands down. This is a different vibe for the horror genre. You know what I mean? This is a whole different joint for the horror genre. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm not gonna give a review of it. That's not what I'm here to do. But I will tell you this much. It is a great movie. And depending on, yeah, I love that. Depending on where you are in life, there's somebody who makes a decision. And again, it depends. Like, from what I hear, a lot of people are hating. But then I'm like, yo, these must be people who aren't in that lane yet. And that's how I'm gonna keep it. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking. If you think you know what I'm talking about because you've seen the movie, it's all good. But the word is, there's a lot of hate for that character. And I'm just like, I don't see that. I didn't get that. I understood it as I saw it, as it broke down. Now, here's the cool part about this movie, and which is going to get into the history moment as we do that. This movie takes pieces of actual history and morphs it into this world. You know what I mean? There was a shipwreck out in Boston where some Irish dudes were doing their thing, and I don't know if you understand that story has been displayed multiple times. Matter of fact, I think there's a movie with the dude who played Dre from Straight Outta Compton, where I guess he's supposed to be the hero in this movie, where they're on the ship, they're having fun, they're getting drunk, they're doing all this and this, and there's a vampire on the joint, man. You know what I mean? Boston, that's what they said really happened. People were like, yo, they heard the partying, everybody was hoopty hollering, and then next thing you know, there were no survivors on that ship. And some people even speculated and said, and you know what I'm saying, allegedly saw a figment leaving the scene. You know what I mean? So that plays into it. They also talk about how very spiritual not only the Irish are, but Native Americans and the Africans are. This movie is dope. This movie is ill. Another piece of history. There was a robbery out in the place that this movie is based on. There is a beef in Chicago that is real talk. And like I said, my man takes all of these joints and he molds it together to give you this dope movie. Black people look beautiful in this movie. Beautiful. When I tell you beautiful. Hey. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the shorty name. I know it's an African type name. She's in Lovecraft Country. And she's on Loki. She's even got there's a movie about them being in Africa, going to England or London or Ireland or someplace gloomy looking. And it's her and her husband, and they're mourning the loss of a child. That movie has a spin. Matter of fact, this Sinners has an ill spin too, but that's a little later. But I'm just saying, the spin. If you know the African movie I'm talking about, I think it's Our House or something like His House, something like, I don't know. But yeah, dope. But anyway, they made her look so, and I'm not saying she ugly. By the way, I'm not trying to say she ugly, but they made her look beautiful. Beautiful. They made, as a shorty, the guitar character, he checking for it. Beautiful. You know what I mean? When I tell y'all we out here doing it, we doing it. And it's just, hold on, we got people out here messaging me and everything. We need to be back. You know what I mean? But we just go, you know what I mean? But there's a part of this movie. There's a part in this movie where it starts off very early-ish, where they're back in town, and then the Asians, the man, the couple, the man is basically, his customer base of black people, and you go across the street, the wife's customer are white based, and that's the moment that we gonna do. So as we let this go, we do it like this, and take it from the top, because this is that moment, and we do it like this moment in Asian and Pacific Islander. Let's go. You know what I mean? One time for the mind, two times for the spirit, one time for the body though. Yo, you got to clear it. And people wanna cheer it. I be like, sit down, cheerings. But anyway, here's a piece of the piece of history is the dopeness that he got. This, a lot of people didn't even understand how that went down. They were just like, yo, that's weird. But here's the cool thing about the Chinese back in the day. The Chinese understood what they were supposed to be. They caught on real quick, whether it was because of the railroads or whatever, but they understood that what they were supposed to be were a substitution for the black people. They caught on, and they were like, nah, y'all ain't gonna be treating us like this. A lot of things happened to a lot of them. But what happened, they were even out there in the cotton fields and was like, yo, son, this money ain't adding up. I don't know why they doing it like this. We ain't gonna do it like this. Nah, this ain't, I came here like y'all came here. I understand their situation, but this ain't jumping for us. And they went out here and they started connecting their money together and doing businesses. Out on the West Coast, laundromats was the big thing. They washed clothes. They got paid for washing clothes. Now, I know you thinking to yourself, laundry, no. I ain't talking about like the regular laundromat. They was the dudes who washed your clothes when you came back from your gold rush. You gave them your clothes, you gave them the little coins or whatever. They had your joints ready up. New people come in town and they want to look spiffy. You know what I mean? They have a nice night out with their little change. Cool, you go over here to these dudes, they got you. That was really how a lot of Chinese people on the West made their money. Now, the ones down South, that's a whole different joint. What they did was they came up with grocery stores. They came up with stores. And what happened is, because they weren't black, they were given a little more leeway. Bring the beat back. So they got a little more leeway. Nobody was out here huffing and puffing. White people, certain poor white people was tripping like they had buildings. But that's a whole other thing. They were able to sell to black people. They were actually a lot of black people's go-to, because if it wasn't a black-owned building, it was them. Because again, Jim Crow segregation, it won't gonna jump off that way. That you could always depend on them. What happened also is white people were like, yo, I like what they bring in. Their prices are better than the white competitors. And they could manipulate the game. In some places, they pitted each other against each other and made it really weird and attention. As you see in that movie, if you watch that movie, in that movie, it's kind of all good. Everybody is like, yo, money is circulating in the area, so why we even need to go there like that? And it's just crazy that was a real thing. That was a real wild piece of history that we really don't even talk about. We don't talk about the ingenuity that they had to go, nah, we got no disrespect for what happened to the black man and black women and all that, but we're not gonna fall into that game. We're not gonna be like the natives over there looking for a handout. Nah, we gonna get our own. They stood down, they stood on business, they got their business game together, they were entrepreneurs, and they did what they did, and they maintained, and again, they understood, like, yo, money, I'm taking all money. You know what I'm saying? And where it gets weird, like we could play the game of where it gets murky and Chinese people no longer want to even identify with being people of color, because that's really what it boiled down to at some point. Because when you said black, it was everybody who wasn't white that counted. Irish people counted, the Italians counted, Polish people counted. Yeah, all them people counted into that joint when they was like, yo, you ain't white. And when you ain't white, you got treated like blacks. You might not have caught it bad as a black person, but you definitely were. They were telling you, nah, son, we ain't treating you like, we ain't giving you no equality over here. And the Asians, that I told y'all, I think last year or the year before, how even when it came to the school, they was like, yo, son, we're not doing all of that. You're not going to we know how y'all have these schools over here for black people. We know what y'all done. We don't want to be part of that. We're trying to go to the good schools. We're trying to go to what we think are the good schools. So, but who knows when that friction hits. But in the early stages post-Civil War, you know what I'm saying, during the Reconstruction era, or what was supposed to be, everything was all good. They were the middle ground. They were the liaison. They were the people that, you know what I'm saying, when you went there, you couldn't have no beef because they were really out here. They were trying to get that money. Whatever y'all got going on, you take it outside. But when you come up in here, it better be all peace, because it was also about handling their business. So yeah, man, this is what we do. This is how we get down. Thank y'all for rocking, man. Look, I sound like I'm about to leave or something. That ain't even what I'm about to do. I'm about to get back into this music because I know I got a few more minutes. I started late, and then I did this late, and we you know, we live though, baby. We live. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We live. We okay Thunder live. Like your boy, he's just smiling, 3 down. Just, he understand you ain't like, yo, Djokovic is out here being a coach and everything. That's basketball talk. We ain't doing basketball talk. We getting back into music. Let's get back into music and do what we do. Legal Crime Radio. Thank y'all for rocking. There's so much going on. Y'all just don't know. On the back end of what we do, how we do, and why we do. Let's get back into this music for you and yours. For you and yours. 1, 2, and we do it like this. Yes. Hey, that's my time. You know how we gonna do, cause we gonna make it. We gonna make it. I ain't gonna do the J to the mwah. Yeah, I ain't doing all that. Like, when you get older, you realize that ain't really a cool line. Do we even stay that line still? We ain't even gonna worry about that. But anyway, get ready to get up out of here and do what we do. You know how we do. Wednesday, Woo Wednesday. It's been a minute since we did a lot of that stuff, right? Woo Wednesday is coming through, so we gonna come through with the woo, slit off like seashells, sit off like I'm low key like she shells, rock bells, ooh, jizza. But anyway, we gonna get down and holler at y'all. Then let me get up out of here and do what we do and do how we do, cause this is what we do. 1 time for the mind. Let's go like this. 1 time for the mind, 2 times for the body, 3 times for the spirit. I'm up in the party like, they say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. To all the mothers out there, I salute. You know what I'm saying? From me to you, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I made that sound good. Anyway, man, this is what we do, man. Thank y'all for listening. Peace. Be safe.